We don't want to be what we're doing. Okay. All right, so what I want to do today, I want to go through and talk about the syllabus, get your guys' feedback, show you guys a little bit about Blackboard. And then what I also want to do is I want to show you guys a little bit about like logical connectors, logical statements, some truth table stuff, some stuff that you guys may have seen before. I'm going to guess some of you guys have seen probably, and some of you guys have. Okay? So all my information is at the top of the syllabus. If you guys need to get a hold of me, the best way to do so is going to be via email. I do check my email fairly religiously. I check it on the weekends as well. Yeah, but anytime you guys have a question about like assignments or something like that, email me. I'll be happy to get back to you guys. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, I either A, am dead, or B, just didn't get your email. So one of the two. So if I didn't hear from you, email me back and say, did you get my email? Probably the chances are I didn't get it. Student hours, those are just hours you guys show up to my office, basically office hours. So right before this class I have student hours, and then on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8:45 to 10. Those are hours you guys come to my office, you say, hey Chris, I need help with the axiomatic definition of solving a proof. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out with that, as long as I'm not with somebody else. Okay, if I'm with somebody, take a number, I'll be with you as soon as I can. Okay? Basically the course is the fundamental topics for the mathematics and computer science. So we're going to do recursion, truth tables, elementary proof, some counting methods, that sort of stuff. A lot of it you guys might have seen at a surface level. Some of you guys might have seen it at a deeper level, but I'm sure there's topics that you guys haven't seen before. So it's going to be a little bit different math than some of you guys have seen before, because a lot of it's more just logical than algebra based. Okay. For the prerequisite to the course, Calculus 1 or permission of the instructor or dean. Okay. There's no calculus in this course, but the thought process behind it, the maturity behind it is necessary as well. The textbooks are going to be optional for you guys, and I'll explain why in a few moments. Okay, if you bought the textbook, that's great. There's nothing wrong with it. If you like working from the textbook, that's great too. Okay, I do all my lectures straight from the textbook, so I do follow it. But I'll show you guys why you might not necessarily want to need the textbook for any reason. All right, calculator, graphing calculator is fine. Calculator that has a computer algebra system such as an 8992, ClassPad 300, anything that basically makes your breakfast for you is not allowed during exams. Okay, no cell phones either during the examinations. All right. The learning objectives are below, so they're basically just repetitious of what was said in the course catalog description. Academic dishonesty, don't cheat, don't lie, don't fabricate, anything like that. If you do and I catch you, you get a 0 for whatever it was that you cheated on, and then I have to refer you to the associate vice president, where they put you in a holding chamber for 5 days without food and water, and mercilessly beat you, or they just put it on your academic record. I can't remember which one, but it's one of those two, so whichever one, just be afraid of it. If you have some sort of documented learning disability, contact DSS, they'll get a hold of me, we'll make accommodations, nice and easy. Okay? For every 1 hour in class, I'm required to make sure that you guys are doing 2 hours out of class, so I'll explain that as to what we're going to do for that. Okay, that's federal regulation, and of course, who knows more about education than the federal government? That's a joke, because that could be anybody, so regardless. So that's what they said, and that's what I do, because I want to keep my job and drink my cheap beers on the weekends. All right, attendance policy. All right, this guy's important because once again, the feds decide it's important. If you miss more than 13% of course time in succession without any notification to me, I have to report that. You're automatically dropped from the course. Okay. So let's say for some reason that you just go AWOL, you decide I hate discrete math for a week and a half of my life. I don't care what the teacher thinks. I'm just going to leave, and then you all of a sudden show up about maybe 2 weeks later and say, hey, what did I miss? And we're like your chance to pass the class because I have to drop you from. Okay. So that's federal regulation. I have to comply with it, or else I don't get my paltry paycheck. So if for some reason you end up in the hospital, or you have to leave because of funeral or something like that out of state, and you know you're going to miss a week or two, let me know beforehand, okay? Because if I don't hear anything from you, I have to drop you from the class, okay? That's just because what people do, they come in, they sit in classes, they get financial aid, and then they just duck out, okay? Last year, Harvard Community College had to pay $300,000 because of that stuff. So I don't know about you guys, but that would have been nice for a raise for me, also lower tuition for you guys, but there's people that duck the system and cheat it. So if you're one of those people, shame on you. If you're not, you're just a victim. Sorry about that. All right, Title IX, no sexual harassment. So you guys know what sexual harassment is. No groping, no touching, no making lewd comments, all that stuff, at least to someone's face, whatever. If I do witness something that's that I think is sexually inappropriate, then I have to contact Deborah Cruz, call her at the number, and then they call you and they have a hearing or whatever they do. I don't know what they do, but they're going to do it. Okay? So, if you have a question as to if something's sexual misconduct, if not, just ask me. I'll let you know. Okay? All right. Tutoring. If you don't like me and you want to get some assistance, then you can go to Falston 103. They have qualified tutors, supplemental literature. It's a walk-in service. So let's say for some reason you need help being able to expand a binomial using the binomial theorem. You walk in, you sit down and say, I need help expanding a binomial using the binomial theorem. Can you help me? As long as there's someone there to help you, it's a completely free service. Well, not free because you guys are paying for it, but it's a service provided to you guys that you're paying for. Okay? So my recommendation is, as soon as you start feel like you're starting to slip, go in there. Okay? Because that's what you guys are paying for, right? I mean, if you're not using it, and you're not using it, then you're just flushing your money down your toilet. Okay? But also utilize my help too. Okay? Like I said, my office hours right before class, just wander into my office, and as long as I'm not busy with another student, I'm happy to help you. Okay. Call me, email me, tie two cans to a string, whatever it is. Certainly willing to help you guys out with that. Okay. Assessment methods, which I'm guessing you guys are most interested in. Okay, so the way the course works is that there's 4 exams, the final's cumulative, and that there's going to be 12 assignments, which I count the best 10. Okay. The assignments, I basically check like their take-home quizzes. So if you decide that you're going to write puppy dog tales are great, I'm going to decide not to give you any credit for that problem. Okay? If you decide to foo-foo your answer, I check through them just like their regular quizzes. So basically, you guys are just getting take-home quizzes. If you don't like that, I can give you guys in-class quizzes with no notes to use. Anybody want that? Didn't think so. So we'll just go with the assignments and do it that way. All right. So like I said, I count the best 12 of those. They are due at the beginning of class at 3:15 p.m. on the date. If you decide to hit it in 10 minutes late, I might start taking off points. If it's repeatedly late, I might decide not to grade it. Okay? So it's just better to make sure you have it here on time. All right? Got better things to do than chase you down for your homework and make sure you're here on time. If you don't like turning it on time, go into the other section, the discrete, which is what? There is no other section, right? So, sorry Charlie, my rules are done. All right. Exams, if you have a valid, compelling reason, make sure I know that valid, compelling reason before the examination. Otherwise, you will get a 0 for the examination, okay? Or if you were in a car accident and you just couldn't make it, make sure you provide me with documentation, okay? Hangover is not a valid reason for not taking the examination. Not being ready for the examination is not a valid, compelling reason for taking the examination. I just didn't feel like it, I just forgot. Those are not valid, compelling reasons, okay? So when I say valid, compelling, I really do mean valid, compelling. Assignments, like I said, take-home quizzes, basically. What we do in class is reflexive of what's on the assignments, which is reflexive of what's on the practice exams, which is reflexive of what's on the real exam. Okay, so if you guys pay attention in class, you take notes, you ask questions, you'll be fine. All right. If you don't do that, then I'll see you again next semester. All right. Attendance. You guys know the attendance policy. If you miss 13% or more, then I have to drop you. I can't reteach material. Well, let me rephrase that. I refuse to reteach material just because you're not here or late. If I do it for you, then I have to do it for everybody. Okay? I have 125 students this semester. If I have to spend an hour and a half teaching all 125 students, that's roughly 200 hours. Are there 200 hours in a week? No, there are not. So it's not really fair for me, and that means I have to not sleep, which wouldn't be fair. So if you do miss class, my suggestion is get notes from a classmate, okay? That would be your first line of defense. All right? If there's an assignment due, make sure I get it beforehand. Otherwise, I reserve the right to not grade it if I feel like not doing it. Make sure that you work through any of the problems that we've done on the assignments, and then after that, you can certainly ask me questions, okay? But if you miss a class, you show up my office and say, hey, Chris, I missed class. I'll be like, yes, you did. That's nice. And that's literally what I'll do. I won't do anything for you unless you do something for yourself first. So that's just the way it works, okay? All right. So other expectations, make sure you log into Blackboard. Make sure you guys check your Harvard account. Grades are posted in Blackboard. So what I do is, as soon as I get done grading something, I will post it on Blackboard. If you email me and ask me what you got on your test or whatever it is, you're actually slowing me down from grading stuff. Because the second I get done, I will post it on Blackboard, okay? So don't email me, ask me what you got, because like I said, as soon as I get done, I will post it for you guys, all right? Usually my turnaround is about maybe 24 hours for grading anything. And that means an exam, a homework, or whatever. And what I'll do is I'll just post it on Blackboard. In my 13 years of teaching, I've never not once given something back to the students the next class that we've had. Okay, so I don't hold on to stuff, I get rid of it because I remember what it was like to be a student. I kind of like to know what I did and right and wrong. Okay, no cell phones, no laptops, no electronic tablets out, either in view or not in view. Violation of this rule will result in a penalty such as, but not limited to, which is dangerous, deduction of points, loss of points for overall grade, written research presentation regarding correlation and use of electronic devices in academic success, or other penalty as deemed fit by the instructor. All right. Last semester I had a student come up and sing the Star Spangled Banner because they felt like using their cell phone. I also had somebody come up and read the last thread of their text, and because they were sexting their boyfriend, it probably wasn't the best thing that they could have done. I actually stopped them because it was fairly embarrassing. So, no cell phones, nothing like that, okay? If it's a problem, don't come to the class, okay? I don't have any problem with that. If there's an emergency, keep your phone on vibrate. When it goes off, leave the room, okay? Because I know sometimes you guys are waiting for like mechanic or brother or sister or mom or whatever it is. There's an emergency. I get that, okay? But I don't need my boss, who's literally 3 doors down, to come in and see a bunch of people with their hands under their desk and she thinks God knows what's going on. So I don't need that business, so just easier for me. If I see you staring down at your crotch, and it's obvious you've been staring down at your crotch for about 5 minutes, I'm going to A, either think you have an STD, or B, you're playing with your cell phone. Really don't care which one it is, it's not appropriate. Okay? Nice and easy. So if you're attached to your cell phone as much as you are to your genitals, then I suggest that you find a way to part with that very quickly. Okay? Not your genitals, though. You can keep those. All right. Disruption of class. All right. Same subject. Okay. If you continuously talk out of turn, disrespect students. Okay. Then I can do the same thing as stated above. Okay. I think I've had that problem maybe like 1 time in 13 years, so that's not going to be a problem. You guys are going to be asleep anyway. It's a math class, so I'm not worried about that. No extra credit, requests for extra credit will be ignored, okay, because at the end of the class, I may curve your grade up to 1.5% at the end of the semester based on my evaluation of your personal effort, attendance, positive contributions during discussion. So, let's say you're a student, okay, you've not obtained my AS for the semester. At the end of the class, if you had an 88.6, I'd be very inclined to round that up to a 90%, which is an A, okay? Or if you want me to give you extra credit, I can give you some ridiculously difficult problems for the same amount, okay? So what would you guys rather do? Would you rather me give you the extra credit, or would you guys rather earn the extra credit? Give, right? Okay, so let's just keep it at that, okay? So don't ask me for extra credit, don't ask me to curve the grade, because you already know what's going to happen, okay? All right, so any questions about that, guys? Pretty easy, right? Okay. Last page, some important dates, okay? So September 5th, do not be one of 3 people that come to campus on Labor Day, because you will be looking around and wondering why the parking lot's empty, because it is a federal holiday, so do not show up. If you hate my face and you want your money back, September 6th is the day to do that. If you hate my course, but maybe not my face, withdrawal is the 15th, or I'm sorry, within the 15-week deadline is November 8th. So before you withdraw, talk to me. I'll let you know like if it's realistic to stick around or not. Some of you guys might, like, I mean, I think there's 600 points in the class, so you need 420 of those points to get a C. So maybe one of you guys, like, literally needs every single point to be able to get to a C level. You might want to come and talk to me and say, is that feasible? Have other students done that before? And I'll tell you the honest truth, okay? So you might want to focus your efforts on your other courses. All right. It's not spring break, but it's fall break, November 23rd to 27th. I'll make sure the person that wrote the syllabus knows that it's not spring break, that it's indeed fall break. It doesn't pertain to our class, but on December 8th, that is a study day. So if one of your instructors tries to get you to come to class on the 8th, notify them that it's a study day, is not a course instructional day, and that they're taking your study day away from you. And then our final exam has yet to be determined for date and time. I'm going to guess it's at the same time, but I don't know what date, because we're on the exception schedule, because we're not in a block class. Okay, so as soon as I know that, I will let you guys know. Okay? And then the rest of the stuff, that's just what we're going to be doing. So if for some reason you miss class on October 17th, then you know to get class notes from mathematical induction too. Okay? All right, so blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Questions about syllabus, about policy, anything like that I can answer for you guys. Stock syllabus, I mean, it's not like it's anything different than you guys have ever seen in your life, I hope. Okay? You guys sure no questions? Examinations, I let you guys use a note card, calculator, so you don't have to memorize everything, but there's some stuff you'll probably have to memorize regardless, or you'll just do it so many times you'll memorize it, okay? I'm trying to think if there's anything else about the assessment stuff. I do post the solutions to the homeworks and the exams online. And when I say the solutions, I mean like completely worked out, like every single possible step that you could do. So that way if you get something wrong, you can see what you did wrong before the exam, okay, or on the exam before the final. All right, so other than that, I really can't think of anything else in the syllabus if I have no questions about. No questions, guys? Okay. Let me show you guys Blackboard real quick. I know most of you guys are probably fairly familiar with Blackboard, but if not, okay, I just want to make sure we're all okay with it. Okay. So to get to Blackboard, there's literally 4 or 5 different ways to do it. Okay. Probably the easiest way is just to go to the Harvard homepage, and then if you go under Resources, there's a link for Blackboard under there. Okay. The other way to do it is to literally just type in the Blackboard address. You can go through ALNet if you want to. You can go to Google and type in Blackboard, Harvard Community College. So literally 4 ways you guys could do it. Okay. So I'm going to click on Blackboard. To log into Blackboard, all you guys do is use the same stuff as your ALNet. Okay. So let me show you guys. So I'll type in mine. I just changed my password literally yesterday, so now I have to remember it. And it's not found. Well, that's not good. Oh, I did? Good thing this is a computer science class and people actually recognize syntax. Thank you, guys. Yeah, all right. Now I forgot my password again. Stupid passwords. All right. So, for those of you guys that have never used Blackboard before, okay, basically Blackboard is going to house a lot of the information if your teacher chooses to use it. Okay, so basically like any documents that your teacher has or any handouts, they might be in Blackboard. Announcements I do through Blackboard. I post, like I said, grades on Blackboard. I post all the assignments, information about the courses on there. So if you ever have a question about anything and you need like immediate assistance, you might want to go to Blackboard first. That might be the best place to go. All right, so since we are in discrete structures, let's go to discrete structures. Sounds like a good idea, right? And I'm going to look at the student view, that way. So when you log into Blackboard, the first thing you guys are going to see is you're going to see the course information. So let's say on Wednesday, you forget where the class is, you forget your syllabus,